to tonight's recap of BB14.
Alright, so last time we left the house, Shane used the veto on himself, and Frank replaced him with Danielle.
Yeah, and Dan kind of effed up with his
whole
coaching thing, so now he really has to get to work and
He's
do
got to
something.
light a fire under himself this time, and maybe he'll fight. Alright, so Shane wants to keep JoJo in the game.
They're on the same team.
He likes the taste of skank, too.
Alright. Ian is just trying to sleep, and Ian, Shane, and JoJo are all have-nots, so they're in the same room, and Shane and JoJo are being all sexual in the room, and he's just like,
Was Ian still sleeping with the teddy bear?
Good for you, Ian. Good for you.
What was he doing, though? Looked weird. Alright, so Danielle is pissed when she gets word of JoJo and Shane because she thought he was all up on her.
She doesn't like that pillow talk.
No. So she goes and does a little girl talk with dumb Ashley
and Janelle.
Who thinks that Shane is emancipated now.
I think you mean emaciated.
Yeah, because she would totally crush him in bed because she's a horse. Alright. So...
That was kind of mean.
Well, that's what she said. She'd totally crush him. And Janelle's breast implants weigh more than his head.
Alright, well, Danielle thinks that it's time to break up this showmance.
That's right. It's a threat. It is. Alright, so is there a new Britney Boogie alliance? What if the coaches come back? That's what everyone's thinking right now. Gee, I wonder how they ever thought that one up.
I don't know.
Anyway, Boogie is amazed that 5 is more than 3. He never knew.
He never knew.
Alright, yeah, Willie's exit was probably one of the lamest, overhyped exits ever.
So let's watch it again.
This was it. Hit me, hit me. That was the whole thing. That was the whole freaking thing, and everybody's like, eh.
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know if I'd describe that as a headbutt.
It was
like a head caress.
It's like when I come home from work and my dog's like, pet me.
It's weird.
Yeah. Alright, so, Joe, why always the chef jacket and the piece of skid mark on your chin?
I do not like that. I just want to, like, go on the show just so I can shave his face.
I wouldn't shave it, I'd burn it off.
Alright. Well, Ian was trying to break things up when this was all going down because he was an RA at Tulane, so he's trained in these sort of things.
Oh, Lord. I thought he ran out of the bathroom. I thought that's how he dealt with things.
Like,
he runs away.
Come on, guys! Don't fight! It's not cool!
Then, for a few ahas, they showed Shane the veto footage, and everyone had a nice chuckle.
Everyone was like, ah!
We're dressed as tortilla chips.
Yes. So then was like the best part of the episode. We got to hear what Dr. Will thinks of this season.
He is so deliciously pasty and evil and black and white.
I wish he was on the show.
Me too. Well, you're not the only one who wishes he was on the show.
I think he does too.
And Boogie. They are like as close to being a couple without being gay that we know of as you possibly can be.
Well, he's working at this tattoo removal place now.
No, he's not working at it. He freaking owns it, I'm pretty sure.
He?
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm thinking Dr. Will is actually a little bit jealous of Frank.
Frank is the new Chilltown member.
Exactly. And he had some interesting words to say about the other coaches.
It was pretty funny.
Dan, he believes, is quite possibly the love child of Ryan Seacrest and Kermit the Frog. I'm going to have to agree, but I'm going to have to say Kermit on Viagra and not gay Ryan Seacrest. Because he picked himself a hot-ass team.
Dr. Will?
I know.
Alright, he thinks that Brittany's doing a terrible job because she can't control her team.
And I'm going to have to agree with that. And Janelle, are you good at strategy? Well, we'll have to see if you win or not.
Don't be a three-time loser.
Exactly.
So his prediction for the winner this season is Ian because he thinks that Boogie is like an older version of Ian, so they get along really well, so he thinks it's going to mean big things for Ian.
I think he might be right with that. Now Frank, he checks in with Julie, And Julie totally dug his shirt.
He was wearing his Julie Chen is my homegirl shirt.
And she said that he was his home skillet. Or she asked him to be his home skillet.
You mean he was her home skillet?
Whatever.
Okay.
Alright, so...
Unless you know something that we don't.
Frank and Boogie, they're pretty tight. And they're probably going to get an apartment together when all of this blows over.
Probably.
But Julie wants to know, where does Shane fit into all of this? Julie, Frank is a man. He can't be expected to be tied down to just one other person in the game. Don't you get it?
Alright. So anyway, it was time for JoJo and Danielle to give their pleadings on why they should stay in the house.
So JoJo goes off on this rant about, like, when I first decided to go into the game, I was going to be fake and backstab and blah blah blah, and then it suddenly turned into vote who's gonna get you further in the game.
It was weird.
What?
Then Danielle was like, y'all had an amazing time and I love all y'all and just like vote with your hearts.
Alright, so what it boils down to is skank or blank. And apparently people are tired of the skank because they voted JoJo out by a vote of 5-1.
And they kept the blank.
Yeah, the only mercy vote was Shane for his skank.
Yeah.
Alright, so JoJo does a little hookup with Julie on the couch.
Sounds wrong.
I know. Julie, I deserve to be there. I'm as short as shit, and...
Mom! Language.
I'm really short, and... I fought my heart out, Julie. I didn't win any of the comps, but I still fought really hard.
Alright, well, obviously, she made a mistake by being so loyal to Willie.
Exactly. She's always loyal to the Willie. Alright, and yes, when asked about Brittany, she's the underdog, Julie. And I gotta be me.
She kept talking during the goodbye messages, and I was just like, why don't you listen?
Why don't you just shut up and listen for once in your life?
Oh, okay. Moving on. Time for the HOH competition, and it was called On Thin Ice.
And there was a no ice hockey rink in the backyard, ice free. And it was funny because they were all like, it was so cold in the backyard.
It seems so cold.
Do you think it was because of the pictures?
They don't get out much.
No, they don't. Alright, so what you had to do was hit your ball into the highest number slot that you could possibly get it into.
But there were some
obstacles in the way. Yeah. So you had to do like a little bank shot if you wanted, because the higher number ones were blocked. So Joe took forever, and Julie was getting pissed.
Julie was like, alright, we don't have all night.
Yeah. We gotta move this thing along.
So it looked like Ian might have actually won, but then Shane pulls out the highest score possible.
A 20. And then Danielle, well, she would have beat Ian anyway with a 12, but Shane actually wins HOH, so... Alright, yeah. And now we get to the dreaded America's vote. Are the coaches going to return?
No, it's like, do you want the coaches to be given the option to return?
Well, that's up to you. What option? Like they'd say, no, I don't want to be in the game.
Said.
I don't want to be in the game.
I didn't make it up.
Alright, well, do your worst, and what do you think?
You let us know. I'm going to say it in the spoiler, so you guys watch the spoiler tomorrow where we'll discuss this vote.
Well, I'll say my piece here because I'm not in the spoiler. I guess I would have them come back in the game because everyone this season is a bunch of freaking blanks. And as long as Boogie gets voted out next, I'm all for the coaches returning. I knew it was going to happen anyway. I mean, come on, CBS had this planned all along, so... Until our spoiler tomorrow, much love.